Okay, look, I know a lot of people don't have this monster. I don't have this monster, but Michael does.
My name's Evan, I don't get what I want. Cry about it.
So I'm making this video to kind of work through what my therapist would probably call resentment. So let's talk about Amarna, the monster that you and I don't have, but Michael does. The reason I say this monster should be an LD5 is not because I want it to be more rare, but rather it's a statement to the quality of his skills. Each one of his three are incredibly varied and relevant. He does so much. Like, his first skill applies a defense break and a heal block. It is very rare for a monster to have defense break on skill 1 and then have that statement followed by and as its conjunction. Like, if anything, nowadays, I would expect it to say, applies a defense break, but. His skill 2 hits 3 times and tries to apply a 2-turn brand. It also deals more damage as the target's health drops. Do I need to talk about brand? I probably don't, but I will because you're here, so I have a bit of a captive audience. Branding is definitely different from defense break, even though it kind of reads similarly because they end up having similar results. Defense break reduces the applicant's defense by a certain amount. Branding increases damage dealt by 25%. And where that ends up being a little bit different is for things like bombs. Bombs ignore defense. So bombs do no extra damage on defense broken units because they didn't care how much defense the target had to begin with. However, they will deal increased damage on a target with branding on because of the definition of branding. Finally, it's like 90% of the reason why I'm making this video. It's the secret to eternal life. It cleanses your whole team, then heals them for 30% of Amarna's max HP. And that's on a 4-turn cooldown. But, if any of your allies are defeated when you use the skill, it'll instead revive them and just throw on 2 more turns on the cooldown. Like, whatever, dude, I didn't care about those 2 turns anyway. That's like absolutely negligible for such a strong effect. This kit makes him amazing for things like raids. Like, the heal block and the brand would have been enough to earn him a slot on any raids team. But then he goes and has a heal, a cleanse on an active skill, a revive, and a defense break. Like, that's pretty much everything in Summoner's War. Like, I actually don't know if there's anything else. But I'm really serious about that third skill being amazing in raids because usually you don't want monsters that have cleanse on their passive because the boss can apply Oblivion. So that means usually if you're bringing something like Averamos, yeah, there's gonna be a window where he's able to cleanse stuff, but most of the time, he's gonna be oblivious. Whereas Amarna can use the third skill and cleanse regardless of how oblivious he is. Yeah, that made sense. So this is a place you'd really prefer to have an active third skill over a passive because the third skill can get its cooldown time reduced by Mav or the Dark Homunculus or something. He also has a defense lead for if you're not employing Zhang Fei for some reason. Although I do think you should use Zhang Fei. Zhang Fei is like really good for a good reason and he's got cleanse on skill 2. So this is not a PSA against Zhang Fei. This is just talking about how I really want Amarna. I've given a pretty positive review of Amarna so far. So let me just say one thing that won't take away from him generally, but like, I just feel like I should point it out. I think there's definitely a drop off for Amarna where he becomes less relevant as time goes on, but he is an incredible early game summon because essentially what Amarna can help you do is cheese content that you wouldn't normally be able to clear. Like, there's so many situations in Summoner's War where you can just slam down an Amarna and you'll clear it. Trial of Ascension, raids, guilds, Rift Beasts, Necro, Tartarus, RTA, well, maybe not RTA, but do we need him to? He already does all this. Great job, Michael. Live the dream, man. Live my dream. Love you, though.